Hello, I'm Kathryn Morhman. I am pleased to be invited to participate in the first Bald Eagle Panda conference, and I hope there will be many more in the future. My role today is to introduce the American Culture Centers and the ACCEX network. Henan Normal University and Iowa State University, the sponsors of this virtual conference, are both members of the ACCEX network. In my presentation, I'd like to do 4 things. First, I'd like to provide a bit of background information about ACCEX and show you the members of the network. And because seeing something is better than just hearing about something, I will show you a brief video about ACCEX, and then I will end with a short conclusion. As you know, China and the United States have the most important bilateral relationship in the world today. So it's vital that we have strong mutual understanding between our 2 countries. Starting in 2010, we've taken advantage of the fact that almost all Chinese universities have American partners and vice versa. So the U.S. Embassy in Beijing has provided startup funding for now 19 American culture centers operated by Chinese and American universities working together. These American culture centers exist at a wide range of Chinese universities, from large cities like Beijing and Guangzhou to smaller cities like Shenyang and inland provinces like Guizhou. Similarly, the American partners are located all around the United States, from New York and Washington, D.C., to Minnesota, South Carolina, and Arizona. Here's the rest of the list. So, what do these American culture centers actually do? All of them host short-term visitors from the United States, often professors from the American partner universities. Movie nights and book discussions are common. So are art exhibits and musical performances. Many centers celebrate American holidays. Some offer English language courses. All the centers have libraries of American books, periodicals, and videos. A few have involved professors in joint research. Some engage in community service and other student-led projects. And one has offered a virtual conference, the Bald Eagle Panda Conference, the first such use of internet technology in our network. But rather than just telling you about the American Culture Centers, I'd like to show you a bit about the network that involves both Chinese and American representatives of all 19 centers.
I think of this meeting somewhat as a boot camp. It's a chance for all of the American and the Chinese partners to come together in one place where we can talk about the issues that affect the centers.
I think this network is doing a great thing for China and American relations. I think it's American people and Chinese people working together for the common goal of bringing cultural exchange and better understanding between our 2 cultures. At our center we use sports, at different centers they use music or arts, and I think in the future China and America people will understand each other better.
We have a huge space with a lot of activities organized, and we have lectures and we have other activities. Well, markedly enhanced the understanding of American culture among the Chinese students.
We do a lot of jazz music programming here in Shanghai because it's a tradition in this city that goes back for many decades to the understanding of our literature and our history. And I think that has already started to have an impact.
我爱这夜色茫茫，更爱那夜莺歌唱，更爱那花儿一般的梦，拥抱着夜来香。
The participants learn from each other. The big thing that we did yesterday is we had each center talk about what they have accomplished, and then we actually went and saw a center. And I think that experience of talking about what centers are doing, and then going and seeing one that's active, it's one of the more successful centers in the network, is extremely useful and valuable.
Being part of the network has given me really wonderful colleagues, people who are, in different ways, are as committed to this work as I am and are doing very exciting things in their centers. And I think we're inspired by each other. I think we learn from each other. I think we support each other. And it also means, which is very nice, that when we have good ideas, there's a potential much longer life to the kinds of programs and ideas that we develop.
机遇和挑战是共存的。那么，这个中心给中美的两国的体育文化交流搭建了一个非常好的一个平台，但这个平台非常之大。那么，这样就需要我们做大量的工作来增进双方的这种体育文化的交流。
Through the ACCT program, we've brought Detroit hip-hop dancers, Hollywood movie stars, Navajo song and dancers from Arizona, and they just show the breadth and the variety of American culture and society and people to these American cultural centers and the audiences here in China.
I'm going away, Annie. I'm going away for good. Yeah, and I know what you're thinking, and you're right. I'm yellow. Living in this house has made me yellow because I suspected my father and I did nothing about it. But if I knew that night when I came home what I know now, he'd be at the district attorney's office by now, and I'd have brought him there.
Well, I actually believe a lot of people say the arts are a universal language, but I kind of disagree. I think like any language, like a spoken language, it's got a historical and a cultural background. And so unless you have that explanation, you're not going to understand the language. So I think the American Cultural Centers can give that background, can give that extra education. When they tell America's story, you need background. You need to know what you're seeing in order to understand it.
Oftentimes, Hollywood movies would mislead Chinese in thinking of the United States as a very different country as you Americans know.
One of the challenges that we hear about in the embassy is the need for more trust. If we're going to solve the world's problems, we need to have better trust and mutual understanding. And through these American Cultural Centers, we believe that that helps to facilitate expanded trust and expanded exchange between our two countries.
And my biggest lesson is that we can learn and we can change and we can do anything. That's what I've learned in China. When I came to China, everything was 没办法.
You know, there's a new generation that's coming of age here in China as well as in the United States. And what's special about this generation is that we have, I think, an opportunity which is unprecedented in our bilateral relationship, and that is to give students on both sides an experience that helps them to understand what the other side thinks and how they believe in their value system.
我觉得，每年的这么一个聚会，虽然只有2天的时间，但是也会结识不少朋友，也会了解大家的这个困惑和这个困难。
From my perspective, the work that you're doing really is that important work that we don't have enough time to really do. Your work is long-term, but it is fundamental in creating a great new generation of world citizens and world leaders Their outlook, their understanding, their training and attitudes are all things over which you have a great deal of influence.
I hope I've demonstrated that the American Culture Centers and the ACCEX Network represent new ways of building mutual understanding between China and the United States. Increasingly, we have witnessed collaborative projects involving multiple centers. And this Bald Eagle Panda Conference demonstrates that there are lots of innovative projects out there to be created. The future is limited only by our imagination. And money, of course. Thank you very much.